Hi there. So you've got a Ducati Multistrada V4 and you're not really sure what the actual range is because, as we know, a lot of modern bikes lie about their actual range. Well, the V4 is a thirsty beast, and we thought we'd kind of run one of our bikes dry and just see what the actual real world range is, irrelevant of what the TFT display shows or what the manufacturers claim. And what we found is that the bottom line is both my bike and my friend Jerry's bike do about 175 miles until the TFT displays 0 miles remaining. So probably around about 160 miles or so, it'll come up on the TFT, like 15 miles remaining or something, and it'll count down to 0. And by then you'll probably done about 175 miles, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less, depending on how hard you've been opening the throttle. But typically around 175 miles we both feel. Yesterday I ran mine beyond the 0 miles, just for 6 miles, but it didn't conk out, and I was able to put into a gas station and fill up. And here's some VT of that.
Petrol Supreme, $3.99 a gallon, 5.174 gallons, $20.69.
However, Jerry was actually carrying some spare fuel on his bike, and so he carried on until it actually ran out of fuel.
So what do we got? We've got 0 miles remaining, and we have 14 miles on the trip. So we've got 14 miles from 0 before running out of fuel.
So there it is, essentially about 175 miles until 0 miles remaining is displayed on the TFT, and then a maximum of 14-15 miles thereafter. Jerry was continuing at the speed limit, and the speed limit for those 14 miles was about 60 miles an hour. So fairly typical real world, riding at normal bike speeds and varying speeds get to about 175 miles till it says 0 miles remaining, and then sticking to the speed limits thereafter. You're looking at about 15 miles, and then you're pushing it. Now, when it ran out of fuel, I thought it might be quite a gradual affair. 4 cylinders, it might kind of get a bit of fuel starvation, a bit of surging, and then conk out. But actually, it just pretty much died. It just stopped running, and he was able to glide effortlessly, 30 feet or so to a little side road and just put some fuel in. And in terms of it started up much quicker than I thought. I thought it might take kind of several attempts just to get the fuel through the system, but we turned the bike off, turned it on again after putting the fuel in, and that may have kind of primed the pump or whatever, but it went, it started pretty much almost like normal, really. It was only a very slight delay before the bike kicked into life, which was quite reassuring. So anyway, the bottom line, real world range is 175 miles until you're pushing it, or rather 160 miles until, the low fuel light comes on and the miles remaining counts down maybe 15 miles or so to 175 miles where it will show 0, and then you're getting maybe another 15 miles. So as soon as it shows 0, doesn't mean you're out of fuel, but you do need to look for a gas station pretty quick, otherwise you'll be pushing it. And the only strange thing was that I rode my bike 6 miles past 0 indicated, and it took 5.2 gallons to fill up to the top, and Jerry's ran for 14 miles and went completely bone dry.
Jerry's bike took 5.04, which is really weird. So my bike I only took it to 6 miles and got in 5.2, and you took it to 15 miles and got 5 in it. That doesn't compute, does it?
Well,
It's
that's,
really strange.
you know, it just maybe riding style.
Well, no, it's capacity, isn't it? It's nothing
Yeah,
to
right,
do with.
right. That's true. Yeah.
We were a little bit confused because his bike took less fuel, but of course we'd put some fuel in it, so that was the reason for that. So the VT might look like we're a little bit confused, but the bottom line is that was easily explained away. And the bottom line is that really, if you subtract my 6 miles from his 14 miles, which is just, you know, another 8 miles, I got 5.174 gallons in my tank, and Ducati claimed 5.8. So there's nearly 0.6 of a gallon difference there, and yet the mileage difference between myself and Jerry running out was only 8 miles. So that doesn't quite compute, and I'm really not sure whether Ducati are being, Ducati are being honest with us by saying it has a 5.8 gallon tank. Clearly the tank is slightly smaller than that, I would say. So if I got, say, rounding it up, 5.2 gallons in it, and it did a further 8 miles before running out, then you could say that's another, quarter of a gallon at best, really. So really, we're looking at more like a 5.5 gallon tank rather than a 5.8. But whatever, semantics, doesn't really matter, does it? You know, the bottom line is, the bike would do about 175 miles, and then you better find a gas station very quickly, because within 15 miles or so, you're going to be pushing it. Anyway, just thought you'd like to know. Hope you enjoyed this short video. See you soon.